You guys want to know something sad? Toshiro, I think, is the captain that has fought the most times out of all the members of the Gotei, and he is the one that almost gets killed the most. Like, I think he's actually only legitly won 2 fights. One against Xiaolong and one against Yukio. I'm including Yukio in this! I mean, seriously, okay, fight against Gin, got interrupted by Rangiku. Fought against Aizen, pwned immediately. Fought against Xiaolong, won. Fought against Lupi, interrupted. Fought against Holly Bell, got cut in half, and then got restored, but then I'm getting interrupted by Wanderweiss. You know, then he got cut down by Aizen again. It's just bullshit! The guy can control ice and snow, and every time he fights, he's just like, this is the power of my Zanpakuto, the strongest ice-type Zanpakuto. You won't be able to... Have him beat somebody, Kubo! My god, this is depressing. Once again, f***ing Yukio. Everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review Bleach chapter number 551, entitled The Burnt Offering. So, you know, what I originally expected with the title is that Hashwolf came to the First Division to retrieve Yamamoto's ashes, so they could offer them to Yuha Bach, so then he can throw them in his fireplace, and Yuha could then literally warm himself with Yamamoto's pride. But that's not the case. Hashwolf does show up in the First Division, and he begins, I guess, trying to attack Shunsui and Nanao, but Nanao erects a barrier, and Hashwolf states that his ability, whatever it is, won't be able to pass through that barrier. In terms of the power itself, we really don't know. We have no idea what it is. I mean, he held his sword up, and his sword, you know, can't break through the barrier, so maybe it involves his sword in some way, but that's not really, you know, that's not really giving us a lot of clues there. So I'm sure that, you know, if Kubo wanted to give us a hint of his power, he would have made it kind of obvious, but here it's just like he holds his sword up to the barrier, can't break through. He just makes a little note of it. He doesn't actually specify anything, like if it affects a wide range or if it has to be directed at somebody or anything like that. Nanao states that the barrier is known as a Hakuden Kepeki. Basically, it's a barrier designed specifically to reject Quincy abilities and powers. Given the fact that all the Quincy's left all their residual spiritual pressure all throughout the Seirete, Nanao figured out some way in order to fix this together to a form of Kido. And she states that that was the reason that she was given the position as the First Division Vice Captain, because of her Kido knowledge. That's not the reason. I gave it to you because you have a nice shut up, Captain. Although she does state that the barrier is only temporary, Hashwolf responds by saying, okay, alright, so you figured this out. You figured out all of Ryatsu, and you know, I was expecting the typical roundabout turn, like what Askin did last chapter. It's just like, oh, all the captains figured out a way to fight without their Bankai. Yeah, just like Yuha expected. I was expecting the same freaking thing here. Like, now says, I made this barrier to reject Quincy powers. Hashwolf's just like, just as Yuha expected, with that smarmy look on his face. But no, Hashwolf doesn't go down that path. He goes down another path to kind of rip out Nanao's pride over this. He states like, oh, okay, so you figured out this barrier to protect yourself. So did you happen to teach this to anybody else in the Seirete, or is just this for you? Son of a bitch, motherfucking assmonger crust sandwich! I knew I forgot to do something last Friday. I'll take that as a no then. Oh god, okay, now, alright, well, you know what? Actually, first I gotta give credit where credit is due. Seriously though, think back. Is this not the first useful thing she's done in the entire fucking series? I mean, really, just think about it. And also though, I gotta give you, like, okay, the second thing is, you really gotta learn to lie, Chica. Like, seriously, you know what happens when the major enemy comes up and, you know, sees this impressive barrier that he even admits his power cannot pass through? I mean, I know it's temporary and everything, but you don't tell him this! You don't sit there and be like, I created this giant fuck-off barrier. It's only temporary and I didn't teach it to anybody else. But dude! Learn how to lie! It's not hard. Just be like, yeah, I made this barrier. Can't get past this. It's invincible. Also, I taught it to like every other captain, so we're set, ready to go. Because that way, Hashwolf might actually alert his other stringer. He's like, hey, yeah, you might want to fall back and not engage in direct combat with these people because they can neutralize your powers. You know, that would actually kind of throw them off base at least a little bit. Clever, tactical, strategy. These are things that the Soul Society does not teach, apparently, in the Ringo Academy. Anyway, this is all interrupted with BG9's huge explosion in the background when I guess I should say it, took out Soy Phone. They notice the explosion, and Hashwolf simply calmly states that you should have taught this barrier method to the other Shinigami, because if you would, they would have died in a fight rather than just being executed. Burned. We get the chapter title, then we cut over for Toshiro running for his bloody life. Quit running away, Captain. You're not giving me a chance to finger bang you in the eye. You know what? Screw it.
Finger bang!
Toshiro, I guess, erects some type of ice wall that whenever Bazby uses his burner finger to evaporate it, it creates an icy mist. Not really sure how this functions. I'm assuming he has, like, complete control over the ice and snow. So maybe, like, whenever Bazby, like, immediately evaporates it, he can just keep it instead of ascending using, like, with evaporation. Maybe he can keep it just around and condense it into fog. I guess that's what's going on here. But at the end of the day, it's just a diversionary tech that even Bazby notes is kind of just pathetic. So he just uses Burning Stomp and pretty much just knocks the ice mist out right quick. Is it me, or does all Bazby's techniques seem like really cool hard rock punk band type moves? Just like, do the burner finger! Do the burning stomp! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Bazby, motherfuckers! The heat! Touring this October. Okay, did I just, like, channel a fucking... I don't know. There's some dark sides in me. I don't know what the hell that even was. Alright, so we have a cool little scene a la style of Hurrah versus Uryu and Renji when Bazby's is standing there in this wide open area and he's just sitting there and he's like, you know that wouldn't have worked, right? You're gonna die anyway. I don't know why you think I was setting up a trap. Wait, what? I mean, seriously though, look at this. It looks just like the Springer technique when Ryu's thing in style. I mean, you have a character, you know, he just dispelled an attack, he's in a wide open area, and then these 5 little nodes just activate all around him, and then they erupt in some giant explosion. So the technique that Toshiro uses is known as Rokusei Hyokutsenshun. So if you remember correctly, way back in the Fakar Kurtan arc, when he used his ultimate technique against Tia Halibel, it was that technique in Hibonkai when he summoned snow down, and the snow, like, whenever it come in contact with you, it, like, erupted. What I'm guessing here is this is more a slimmed down version or a more condensed version. This way, I mean, he can't use it in a wide open area like he did with Tia Halibel, and it's probably much weaker here now. But nonetheless, it really greatly resembles Springer, and it's just a really, really cool technique. I actually might like this version more than the other version. The other version was just snow. This one's like a snow eruption from the 9th circle of hell itself. There's no way Bazby's going to be able to break out of that. Oh, right, yeah, he's kind of really awesome. So Bazby reiterates one more time that there's not a goddamn thing you can do with your ice to hurt me. Do you not get this? Do I have to use my okay, fine, screw it. Burner Finger 2! Okay, that's not what happens. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. It leaves a pretty big explosion in its wake. Okay, I'm still alive. Don't look down. I'm not cut in half again. I am definitely not cut in half for a 3rd time in this freaking series. I am not... Oh, you, Tite. Okay. Okay, this is some bullshit. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, people. This is what I'm talking about. This guy cannot catch a freaking break. I mean, Kubo, can we just have one? Can we just have one major villain that this guy can just kill? I'm not talking about Yukio, who is actually a human, or freaking Xiaolong. Can we have an actual villain that poses an actual threat to this series and to other people, and that Toshiro can legitimately defeat in combat? Please. I'm praying to you here, man.
Huh? What was that? Sorry, I didn't hear a word you just said. I was busy eating these Lucky Charms. They got new hourglass shapes in them. They're magically delicious.
Oh, freaking hard, man. Freaking hardcore. Okay. Yeah, so Toshiro gets, like, one-shotted, like, for the 5th time, or what? I don't even really care anymore. Alright, so he goes down. He's not dead yet, but the guy has like a huge cauterized wound that pretty much... You know, I would laugh if the wound actually did not cut him in half. It was so freaking hot, it literally began to cauterize and stick his body together as the wound passed through, you know? Like, he's just sitting there, and his whole body, like his lung is charred. He's down. He's not getting back up after this. Maybe if the Soul Society didn't decide to kill their best medic before this freaking war started, but, yeah, that's beside the point. He's not getting back up. So, right before Bazby's about to deliver a coup de grace, freaking Kangdu shows up, and he states to Bazby that apparently what they agreed with, that all the captains that had their Bankai stolen were to be handled by the Sterners that stole said Bankai. That's the reason BG9 showed up and tried to find Soifone, and so I don't know what Kangdu was doing this whole time. Maybe he was just sitting around having, like, some dumplings or something, you know, partaking in the Vondin Tay's great culinary advancement. I don't freaking know. I'm just pissed right now. I seriously am. So, the last scene of the chapter is we cut over to the research and development team, where I guess Askin just left because they're there, like the R&D Shinigami are just hanging out, you know, just reading paper. I'm guessing Askin just left, up and left. So Mayuri's there, stating that I guess I was the only one that could have fought these things without a Bankai, even though he still does have his Bankai. I know he's referring to the armor. So last scene is he gets a call from Uehara over his weird armor sun thing, and Uehara states, big shocker, he now has a way to recover the Bankai. Great! Bit late for Toshiro, though, isn't it? Is probably going to revolve around that Quincy pie that Uehara was baking back in, I think, chapter 544, I believe. Oh, by the way, Tite Kubo actually did do, I don't know if you guys know about this, Tite Kubo actually did an interview recently on TV Tokyo, where he did confirm, in fact, that Quincy pie-looking thing was, in fact, apple. You know, I'm a cherry guy myself, so I was a little disappointed, but, you know, apple, that's all good, too. You know, you maybe feed it to the Shinigami, it recovers their Bankais, you know, that makes a lot of sense. So, my idea is, essentially, I'm going to forget about the whole Toshiro thing, because I'm legitly angry about that, but let's go over to the recovery of the Bankai thing here. Okay, whatever method that Uehara is going to come up with to recover the Bankai, it's probably not going to be so simple as just like, oh, well, I just have to give you this special reversal medallion and then you can get your Bankai back. It's probably going to involve, what I'm thinking is, it's going to revolve around the person that stole the Bankai to begin with. So maybe, like, there's certain specifications. Like, the first specification is you have to have the medal of the Stern Ritter that stole the Bankai, or you have to be facing the Stern Ritter that stole your Bankai, which would make more sense why each of the Stern Ritters are fighting, like Soifon's fighting BG9, Toshiro was fighting against Kangdu, I guess, why they're all fighting him, so that they even out. So, if Mayuri can relay this information, whatever information it is, I mean, I don't know if Uehara is going to have to send the Quincy Pie object over to the Soul Society. I don't know how that works, or he can just, like, monitor it from there. He's apparently cracked the case, so I'm assuming he has some way. I mean, the only thing I'm going to say about Toshiro is that, you know, the dude is down. Like, I don't know if he's going to get back. I don't think he is. I don't see it anyway. Someone's going to have to show up and save him, because, yeah, he's down. Like I said, cauterized wound all the way across. He's, in terms of Hashwalt and now, I mean, she said the barrier is only going to last for a little while after that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like Shunsui seems pretty calm about this. You know, shouldn't Shunsui, like, the first thing he should do is like, oh, well, okay, well, you know, I'm in this enclosed area where there's not a lot of people around. You know, if Nanao gets out of here, I can use my Bankai, whatever the hell that is, and take this guy down immediately. He's kind of lacking initiative here, unless he has a plan for Hashwalt. I'm not really sure. Props to Hashwalt for actually trying to fight right away. You know, he's not the monologuing type, which I originally pegged him for, because, you know, he just seems like the very, very stoic, very kind of just like laid-back monologuing villain like we've seen so much time in Bleach. But no, he apparently tried to fight right away. We don't know anything about his powers, though, aside from them maybe being centered around his sword. We don't even know if they're centered around his sword. He just was like using his sword to try to pass through the barrier, and he couldn't, so I'm not sure what exactly he could do. Didn't get really, we saw, you know, BG9's explosion, but we didn't really get much of him in this chapter at all. So anyway, thanks for watching the review, guys. Tekking101 signing out. I'm not sure if Toshiro's dead, but if he is, sorry, man. Sorry. Wish you could have played more a part into the series that you're apparently the most popular character in. In the arms of the Ice Angels, Mizure and Yukina cry. And I never knew why, but I...
Why can't I feel my everything? Oh. This is the end of the road. The end for me. I wonder, will I dream? I fucking hate you.
I know.